you're
Pittsburgh was a great time. We went to Pittsburgh for the Friday, Saturdays games. I had a blast. I would like to just put on the record, I would happily join the Pittsburgh Pirates fan base as my second team in a heartbeat. They're so fun. They're like, honestly, I have nothing but good things to say about the Pirates fans.
That ballpark is beautiful.
I want to talk about their ballpark in a bit, but the whole experience with Pittsburgh was just incredible. Like, we showed up there, and obviously they rib you a little bit. Like, there was 3 of us and we were all wearing Jays gear.
Makes
and
sense.
This one guy at our hotel goes, "Oh, you're wearing the wrong jerseys." We're like, "I don't think so." And we got in the car and he comes walking over like, "Oh, fuck, what's going on?" Guy taps on the window, gets his roll down. He goes, "What I meant by that was just welcome to Pittsburgh. We're glad to have you." I'm like, "Oh, that's super cool."
Oh, that's cool.
I'm like, "All right, thanks, dude. Great."
See, a city that knows how to treat its
So it started off great. And then obviously it was not a lot of Pittsburgh fans in the building. There's a lot of Jays fans that showed up to that Pittsburgh
game
series.
2, especially.
Oh
my God.
Game 1 with Manoah and the standing ovation at the end was crazy. Game 2 was nuts. Like we kind of trumped them there. But it was so cool. You'd stand in line with Pittsburgh fans, and like the one couple we were talking to was just like, "Yeah, this is the most people we've seen at this building in over a month. Like, this has been so exciting. Like, we love this. Like, it's so cool having you guys here, blah, blah, blah." And they're so nice about it. They're like, "We understand that our team sucks. We don't really care. We'll cheer for you guys."
They're clairvoyant. Like, they know.
Yeah.
Like,
there was a guy behind me wearing a Pirates jersey cheering for the Jays. He goes, "No, it's just fun. I just like watching good baseball again." I'm like, "Yeah." They're so cool there, man. It's great. I support that fan base every day of the week.
Yeah. And you can also support O'Neal Cruz, who is psychotic.
So I came into Pittsburgh with a lot of expectations for O'Neal Cruz, obviously, because he should be doing phenomenal things. The 2 games I watched of O'Neal Cruz were terrible.
Yeah, dude, you got his like worst showing of him.
He made a great play defensively because he has a cannon. Like, he fumbled it and like just hosed out. I think it was either Teoscar or Lourdes.
Yeah, I think it was Teoscar, but like
just absolute hose. I'm like, hey, that was cool. He struck out like 5 times in 8 or 9 at-bats. I'm like, this guy can't hit the ball.
Did you see what he did like the next day after?
He hit a 115-mile-an-hour missile into center field.
No, it's also
into the center field wall.
But in the next series against the Mets, he took a low pitch out of the park into the Allegheny.
Yeah, he's a monster.
Like,
I think the hype might be getting a little bit too high, O'Neal Cruz, because if you look at his season stats,
not great.
It's not good.
Not great, man.
Strikes out a lot. He was hovering at 200 when I was there, so it's like,
you know what? Rookie.
He's young. He's gonna come around. What he does is cool. He did nothing cool when I was there.
Yeah.
So disappointing.
Yeah, man. It's not great.
But hey, it was cool. He's huge, dude. Just a monster.
Yeah, it's
ridiculous. It's PNC Park.
Okay.
It's beautiful. All right.
Yes.
It's a lot nicer looking than what we have in Toronto. I'm not gonna go and try and pretend that we have a nicer stadium because it's beautiful.
We don't.
The skyline's great. You get the bridges in the background with the city is super cool looking. Like, it doesn't look like Toronto where it's all like really uniform and kind of the same everywhere. They have buildings facing different directions and like different colors and styles and heights, and like everything looks super different in the city, but it's still a city skyline, if that makes sense. Like, it's super cool. And that's all you can see from where our seats were. We were sitting in the first baseline 100 level seats. They were the cheapest seats, by the way, which was nuts.
I mean, it's
crazy.
It's Pittsburgh.
But it was cheaper there than it was to sit out in the outfield. Which is nuts. We're sitting like in the regardless. Okay. So that's all you see is the city and the bridges, and it looks gorgeous. And pregame, they have so many bars that you can walk around inside the stadium, but outside of the ball diamond, if that makes sense. Like, kind of like our concourse, but like way bigger, which is super cool. It's kind of just like a flight deck, but everywhere, which is great. It's so much fun. You walk around just these different bars. There's different things to see. They got all this stuff to interact with. Like, super cool experience in that sense. Now, in terms of in-game entertainment, we trump them. It's not close.
Yeah.
Like, just like they don't have, obviously I'm used to seeing like J-Force and that stuff and like them kind of hyping the crowd up a little bit more, and like all the contests we do and stuff on the board and like people getting involved with that stuff. They do none of that.
Well, because they're not good, so they don't.
No,
have
but
any
like
fans
you
there
would
to
think
do
there'd be
anything.
something to bring their fans in. They don't. They have in the one game, actually both games, they're firing off like t-shirt cannons.
Yeah.
And
That how
then
you
their
got your shirt?
mascot, whose name is Parrot, by the way, it's just dumb, but
Not,
his
you
name is
can just
Parrot.
you can just do Perry.
No,
Parrot.
it's his name is Parrot, and he's literally just a big parrot. The mascot was great. Like he was having a lot of fun with stuff. But they're just firing t-shirt cannons like once or twice a game. And I'm like, okay, cool. But it's only for the people that are around the dugouts. So you really don't get one anyways. And then they do nothing on the board in terms of these things. But they do this pierogi race, which is like the same as like the president's race. And there's like a hot dog one somewhere.
I think Milwaukee has like the weekend.
Yeah, they have that one. Like there's a bunch of different ones. So they get really into that, which I'm like, yeah, that's kind of neat. But like after a while, you're kind of like, yeah, it's the same thing over and over. Maybe do something different. I don't know. Just the entertainment side of it was weird. Which was like that's the one thing I'll have a knock on them for. And then in-game information, there's nothing. Nothing. Like so you know the Rogers Center, how we have like the exit velo, the launch angle, stuff like that. None of that.
Random stats, yeah.
Yeah, they have none of that. Every time there's a hit, there's like the odd one that pops up and goes, oh, that one was 99 or this one was 101, something like that. But like they don't have a consistent one where you can look and go, oh, how hard did he hit that? So they don't have that. They don't have the pitch type thing where you can see what they're throwing and stuff. Like you could kind of assume like when Jordan's on the mound and he throws 97, you goes, oh, that's a fastball. Yeah. It's 4 straight 83s, and you're like, okay, that guy's just humming sliders.
Yeah, like which he tends to do a lot now. Which
so like, it's kind of I didn't like that. Like there's just significantly more information about the game that I'm watching in Toronto than there was in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's beautiful. It's way better looking. But I just in terms of like in-game entertainment and in-game value, I found Toronto was just like they trumped them in that matter. Also, having a dome is so underrated. I don't think people understand that.
Not a dome, a retractable roof.
Not even that. Minimum. Like, yeah, obviously the roof just for the rain delay problems. Obviously, that's great to have.
But sound travels.
Sound is incredible. Like, incredible. Like the crowd was raucous and just phenomenal in Pittsburgh, but you don't really notice it because it just escapes.
Yeah,
like all the sound just goes away. Toronto, man, everything traps in there. If there's a hit, you hear it. And I think that's the one thing that people don't really appreciate about the Rogers Center. It's not a pretty stadium. We don't have the good skyline. We got the CN Tower, which is super cool.
Next year.
It's going to be, I think next year, once they do those bars up the foul pole there, that's an underrated thing that people, if you haven't been to a different stadium, it's way cooler to have that. Just somewhere to hang out, have some drinks, and like just stand around with people. Way cooler. I really appreciated that in Pittsburgh. That was fun. I think once you get that, and once you have that same loud, echoey atmosphere that the Rogers Center has, I think you'll start to really appreciate what it brings a little bit more than like it takes a lot of heat. I think it's unnecessary. It's such a cool place to be at sometimes. But Pittsburgh is great. The city's beautiful. The park is gorgeous. Like I don't have a bad thing to say about the way that place looks.